All right, this is the Independent 88.5 FM. I guess saying the call letters of the radio station as we do video isn't that important, because people are watching us. Mallrat is joining us right now from Australia, I presume. Is that right?
Yeah, Australia.
Well, you sound great, and modern technology is amazing, right? It's like we haven't missed a beat. How cool is this?
It's the best.
Um, Grace Kathleen Elizabeth Shaw goes by the name Mallrat. We've been playing the song Charlie on the radio for quite some time. And to be quite honest with you, it's really one of our favorites. So it's nice to kind of put a face with the music that we've been hearing on the air for quite some time.
Thank you for playing it.
My pleasure. And you got some good people working for you, like on the label side and stuff. We always have a good dialogue with them. And just so you know, they're working hard for you.
Thank you.
What's going on back home where you are right now? We're in Southern California. Things are in lockdown, as you could imagine. You were asking me kind of off screen or whatever, how we're holding up. And yeah, we got like an engineer who works with us who set us up with home studios. So we're like doing radio shows from home.
Very cool.
Yeah, it is cool actually. I don't even want to go back to work when the dust settles. I mean, I saw somebody on Twitter the other day and he was saying, if there's some things that this whole crisis is teaching us, that A, we could have done our jobs remotely from home this entire time. B, I forgot what B was, but it's that resonated with me. So it's nice to be set up to do it. How are you hanging in there? Who are you hanging out with? And are you leaving the house at all?
I am actually really well. I'm kind of loving all this time to just be in one place because I've been touring a lot the last few years, so this is nice. And I am with my housemates. I have 3 housemates and I love them. And I have been leaving the house a tiny bit, like for walks and to get like a takeaway coffee.
Good.
Because the lockdown is not quite as strict here as it is in LA.
Right. I was wondering about that. It's really eerie. I'm barely leaving the apartment. And when I do, to see people walking around in masks, I really miss going to the coffee shops, and we've got a kid and I really miss going to the zoo and doing all those things. I can't wait to get back to normal, frankly, but I was wondering, how are things going in Australia on a different continent altogether?
Mm. I feel like we're in general quite relaxed. But I mean, I couldn't really speak for anyone besides myself and my housemates because I haven't really seen very many other people. But
Yeah.
in this house, I'm happy.
So there are some releases that people get their hands on from Mallrat. Records like Uninvited or, Driving Music is the new one. And, it's nice to, again, introduce our listeners and our members to your music. You said, I think online as I was doing the deep dive into the Mallrat music is we spend so much time in the car, right? And was that sort of part of your vision when you started, started writing music for this new record?
As in the driving music theme.
The driving music theme. We spent so much time in the car, and I also read that you more or less treated this new record as your own personal journal.
I sort of did, but I didn't set out to have like a theme. I don't really work like that, but I think it's just natural. I don't drive myself, so some of my favorite moments are like my friends picking me up and taking me places. And so naturally that's where like a lot of the lyrics come from.
Speaking of, this kind of being your journal and your musical and creative outlet, was that not the case in the past? And is it hard for an artist like yourself to kind of wear your emotions on your sleeve and kind of put it all out there for everybody? Because it could be so personal sometimes.
Yeah, it usually is like a journal. But I almost want to like move away from that a tiny bit and obviously like still kind of treat it like a journal and draw from my own experiences, but I also want it to be a little bit more like dream worldy
Hmm.
and less suburban and like earthy and all the other things that my music has been lyrically. And I kind of, yeah, I want it to feel a bit more ethereal going forward because I don't know, I just, yeah, I think it would be more fun. I've
Um,
done the detailed, personal, scary stuff now.
Sure. So maybe, you know, as far as lyrics, maybe sonically with the music, a little bit of a different vibe, and lyrics, not, you know, kind of not so literal. Maybe kind of reading between the lines a little bit. You know.
Yeah, and I feel like also that's kind of what I've been doing, but it's more leaning towards like a diary entry kind of thing.
Yeah.
But definitely even with sounds, like I'm producing more and more of my own stuff, and the sounds that I love are kind of like angel choirs and like monster trucks and weird sound combinations that don't feel very real. Um, and I can't really play any instruments myself, so the more that I do this, the less down to earth the music sounds, which is kind of fun.
Well, how does that work? If you don't have a go-to instrument, but you still kind of are producing your own music, and how good does it feel as an artist to be able to come up with something in your head and kind of, you know, bring it to fruition? That's got to be an
Mm,
amazing feeling, I imagine.
feeling. And I can play some piano. I don't have a piano though. Everything's like MIDI keyboards, so the piano plays whatever sound you want it to play. And I've been trying to be good at guitar for such a long time, but I just don't feel like I'm improving at all, which is fine, you know? I don't need to play every instrument, but yeah, I'm not very good at it, so I don't really write with it.
Well, it's, you know, you just spent all this time putting a record together, and now, you know, it's almost like you can't even leave the house. So, are you now writing more music, and do you find yourself having more time to practice guitar and maybe some other instruments right now?
Yeah, I've picked up the guitar a few times and just got frustrated and put it back again, which I know isn't like the best, but I have been making music. I've set up a little um, studio in the spare room, and my friends have lent me their speakers and keyboards and everything. So yeah, I've been making lots of beats and it's been fun.
You know, I've been doing some interviews via this platform with artists lately. We actually just started like last week, but you know, I imagine there's a lot to write about right now. And you've seen some artists taking to the internet and even writing their own sort of personal takes of what's going on in the world right now. So again, I imagine there's a lot to write about. Sorry, before I can't even read my chicken scratch writing, and I'm looking at my notes right here. Some Mallrat releases in the past, uninvited. In the Sky, which is one that I skipped over before, and again this new EP called Driving Music. The first record came out when what you were in high school, right?
Yeah, I think it was just after I graduated because I wrote most of it when I was in high school.
That's incredible, and I could tell there's kind of a hip hop influence, man, going on with your music. Are there some artists who really struck a chord with you, or are you a fan of certain hip hop artists out there, and who might that be as far as contemporary artists or, you know, hip hop artists from the past that you're digging on?
Yeah, I listen to rap more than almost anything.
Mm.
My I mean, my favorite artist ever is Kanye, but other rappers that I love are like Young Thug, Azalea Banks, Lil Wayne, Vince Staples, Gunna, Nicki Minaj. They're my favorites. Oh, Andre 3000.
Yeah.
Um, and who else am I loving?
And you could see like lyrically and also sonically, with like the production that you tinker with from time to time, like you could tell like you're a hip hop person, you know. And I appreciate that so much. It's so funny when you're rattling off names of these artists. Certainly Andre 3000 and Lil Wayne and stuff, but I come from an old school background with Ice Cube and DJ Quick and like the Ghetto Boys and stuff like that, especially on the West Coast. I mean, it was Snoop and it was West Side Connection, Mac 10 and Dub C, and The first time someone even played Wu-Tang for me back in the day, I didn't really like it because it wasn't like West Coast style hip hop. It was a completely different, like lyrics first type of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I have an affinity for artists from back in the day like that. And you're hitting me with, I mean, to an extent, I haven't really understood Kanye quite yet, you know? Because also like I work at this station and I'm just being bombarded by like sort of indie music, I guess,
Yeah.
um even haven't even had the time.
I need to not need to. I've never really gotten into like more old school. I almost spent my tea. Sorry. I've never really gotten into like old school hip hop. Obviously, like it was all out before I was born, so that's the main reason. But also just like there's so much to catch up on, and I feel a bit overwhelmed whenever I try and start to listen. But lately I've been really getting into, not that this is like old school, but 3 6 Mafia. I've been loving.
Who are you
Have you
typing
listened?
to right now?
Look
I
up
could
where
hear
they're
you.
from because I didn't know.
That's cool. I could hear you banging on the keyboard. 3 6 Mafia. That's cool. Yeah, it's almost like it's like you said. You don't even know where to begin. It's like walking into a record store. And I remember I really wanted to understand Harry Nilsson's music. I don't know which record to even begin with, so I just walked right out. And I figured I'd
Mm,
go to the streaming services and figure it out on my own rather than buying a record. Again, this
yeah.
is Mallrat here on this Zoom conference. We call it the Here at Home series because you're home and I'm home and we're all home and we're just trying to figure out how to create this content. Normally we've had we usually have like a revolving door of artists come by the radio station for live performances, but we can't do that right now. So now we're doing this. Were there aspirations to come and visit us in Southern California? And did that get scrapped recently?
I think there were. Yeah. I was really, I don't know, everything's been scrapped now, hasn't it? But
Yeah.
maybe I can come back when this is all over. I kind of live in LA. Well, I live between LA and Melbourne. So
Mm.
it would have been for me to come visit.
Well, when the dust settles and when everybody's healthy and when this lockdown is sort of lifted, we would love to have you come by. We could accommodate a full band in our studio and everything, and that would be great. So, again, the
Like,
song that people have been hearing is Charlie. And um, who's it written about?
well, it's named after my dog,
Okay.
but it's not really written about him or any one creature or person. But yeah, it's named after my dog.
So when you speak of this new record sort of being about a journal, and I was thinking, I talked to a different artist, and Hamilton Lighthouser from the band The Walkman just came out with a record, and his record's called The Loves of Your Life, and it's 11 tracks, and each track is about a specific person in his life. And I was thinking, and I have heard that the song Charlie was about your dog, and I was wondering if Mallrat did the same thing. Um, but apparently that's not the case. It's not literally about Charlie in the rain.
No, well, that bit is Charlie and the rest side is
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Charlie.
And
But the rest,
do you drink coffee as well as tea? And I could see you're drinking tea right now. Coffee and tea.
mm-hmm.
Little product placement right here. It's the logo of the radio station.
I'm gonna
Busted
have to
that
get
out right now. Yeah. How else are you spending the time? Are you reading books? Are you watching movies? Are you playing cards?
reading a lot of books, and whenever there's a sunny day, I'm just sitting out in our garden next to the veggie patch and watching all the bees
That's
buzz
really
around.
nice.
Very, very nice. I would definitely recommend. And I've been practicing Japanese. And that's kind of it. I haven't been doing much else at all.
Well,
Oh,
hey, what was that?
and I've been dancing a lot.
Um, hey, you got to do that. I mean, that'll lift your spirits, right?
Hmm?
Well, we can't wait to play even more tracks off the new EP for our listeners. I feel like I know you personally because I've been hearing the song Charlie on the radio for quite some time. So again, it's nice to have this little chit chat with you right now. Anything else to touch on before we kind of wrap it up and let you go do more things?
No, I'm just so grateful that you're playing my music on the radio. Like that is so cool to me. Um,
Are you getting some
I
love back home? We always hear about Triple J, the radio station out there. Are they as influential as we may think? And have they embraced your music? And has radio embraced your music in Australia?
Yes, Triple J have been very supportive lately. They are pretty influential because in Australia we have a lot of like, obviously Australia isn't as big as America, so we have a bunch of national broadcasters, and Australia is a government funded independent music station. Well, not so much independent, but kind of indie music station. And it is really, it like supports different festivals and tours, and they have this program called Unearthed where like it's like a music discovery platform as well. So they're always kind of nurturing Australian music, which is really cool.
That's cool. That's nice to get airplay at home as well as in Southern California. You
Mm-hmm.
know, being an artist and being able to tour the world and, you know, places that are really far away, you've probably seen some places that I might never even go to in my lifetime. Did you tour Europe with Maggie Rodgers, and how was that? And did you learn anything from Maggie Rodgers? And do you feel like you gained more fans from that tour?
Yeah, I love Maggie Rodgers so much, and that was like almost our third tour with her because we met her like 2 or 3 years ago when we played a couple shows in Australia together, and then we did an American tour, and then we did Europe at the beginning of last year. And Europe especially was so beautiful and so cool, and I learned so much from her. I watched her like every night that I could, and I sat in the photo pit and took little photos. And in Charlie, there's like a percussion thing that comes in with the third verse, and it's like me tapping on my jeans going, and that's like a little nod to Maggie because she has that in her song Alaska.
That's amazing. I'm glad. Yeah, Maggie Rodgers is beloved around these parts, and I had read that you played some shows around Europe with that artist, which is so super cool.
I love
Um,
her.
the name Mallrat came from the Orwells, great punk band out of Chicago, who's been a little controversial as of late. You said you like hip hop. Are there any other sort of punk bands or rock bands that you're listening to these days besides the
I've been
Orwells?
Well, I don't really listen to them anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
I did really like them.
Yeah.
And I actually haven't been listening to as much punk lately, but not because I don't like it anymore. I just haven't been. But I liked Fiddler a lot. And there's a band in Australia called Skeggs.
Yes.
And they're punky but still a little bit, but they're beautiful and I really recommend them. And also a band called Violent Soho from my hometown.
Really, right on. There's so many amazing, talented Australian artists, and I feel like for us it comes in waves. You know, the first wave with Courtney Barnett, and you know now it's happening again, and we can't deny it. Like the music is so good. So some of us have a weird fascination with what's going on in your neck of the woods. You know,
We really are punching above our weight. You should also check out Cub Sport from Brisbane. They're my favorites.
right on. Is Courtney B as beloved as we think she is back home?
Yeah, she
I
is.
mean, she's one of the more talented lyricists of our time, I would say.
I agree.
Yeah.
My favorite song is Preston. Do you know that
Preston.
one? It's about a suburb. Yeah, it's a Preston. And Preston is like a few suburbs away from where I live. And it's like just this really super suburban kind of grim place. And the song kind of talks about that. It's really cool.
That's amazing. Again, this is Mallrat. Lil Mallrat is the website. People could get the merch and buy the records and keep up on tour dates whenever those start happening again. Hopefully those will start happening real soon, and hopefully you'll be in our neck of the woods. And, you know, you have an open invitation to come by the radio station. We would love to catch up with you once again when the dust all settles. Yeah, my pleasure. You know, is there a Mallrat T-shirt at the merch store available right now?
I think there is. Some people would say it looks strikingly similar to the Thrasher skateboarding merch.
Uh-huh. I tell you, I'm gonna do my part and support some of my favorite artists and go to that Mallrat merch store and purchase myself a T-shirt, and I'll tag you on socials when I'm wearing it.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Keep up the good work. It's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance.
Thank
And
you. It was so talking to you.
right on. We'll talk real soon. And Mallrat, everybody on the interwebs. I'm not sure when this is going to air, but we'll hit you up relentlessly on socials when it does. It's going to pop up real soon. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. See you later.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.